And we've seen, guys like Michael O'Loughlin come out to speak, and Tony Armstrong and different Indigenous leaders amongst our, footy community, things like that, talk about how it's, I guess, the fact that Indigenous players have to sort of extend the olive branch, and it just shouldn't happen. I mean, Dell, you've experienced as a young man and all through your life. I
Yeah.
mean,
Look, I think firstly, I could see the hurt in, when Eddie Betts was talking about it. And I know Tex Walker, and I followed his career, and he's been a pretty good role model. And we all make mistakes, and I can tell that he probably doesn't understand the hurt and the sorrow that he's, that because it wasn't just about that one sledge. Because that one sledge, it's a ripple effect from when you're younger. And I went through it at school. I grew up in a pretty good place, Mackay Serena, but it was okay to be racially vilified. You have to get on with it. You have to suck it up. Remember coming home from one day from school, and I've been racially vilified on the sporting field through some guys, some older guys. And Mum knew I was sad because I wear my heart on my sleeve. And Mum goes, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Oh, one of these kids called me a black so-and-so." And she said, "See the colour of your skin?" She goes, "Be proud of who you are and where you come from." She said, "No matter what they say, they can't hurt you." But I reckon it still hurts now because you still remember from back in those days. And then we're here in 2021 and it's still happening. It's happening in the Premier League. It's happening in the NBA. It's happening in general in life, in society. It's happened to my kids. And I reckon it's harder when it hits your kids because we want to make change. I think I said to you guys, I've always respected Adam Goodes as a player, but I reckon the bravest thing I've seen Adam Goodes do was stand up for not just himself, his family, and his people. Was at, I didn't realize it hurt him. I knew it hurt him, but to go through what he's gone through time and time again, everyone's going, "Oh, I've had mates go, it was a 14-year-old girl." Do you understand? It's not about the 14-year-old girl. It's the person who's, 45, who's calling you, black so-and-so, the N-word, a big silverback gorilla, or whatever. So, look, it does hurt, and it's funny because you could use your fist and get into fights and stuff. And when I was younger, that certainly wasn't the way to do it. But we got to be better. We're not better, and it's not just about that situation. Like,
Do you think we've got better at all?
no. Mate, look, we've tried to, but people can't help change. People don't want to change. People are happy just to be themselves. Everyone's going, everyone's getting too PC. Well, I don't agree, and I think about the next generation of kids. I spoke to
is it too deep seated in our culture?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is, mate. In those Queensland Maroons camps, and then I get to mix with a few of the boys and have a chat. One day I settled up to Mel Meninga of all people. He talked about when he went through it. Inglis, Thurston, Thaiday, social media. Latrell Mitchell's the latest one, and people were hating on Latrell Mitchell. Latrell Mitchell's in a good place now because he understands where he comes from, but he's taken time out to respect and people are respecting his boundaries. And it's going to take people like Latrell Mitchell to come out and call him out. But there's got to be done something legally on social media about it because you can't.
Well, they could stand up, couldn't they, and actually make it harder for people because at the moment everyone's a
Faceless
journalist,
warriors.
everyone's a photographer.
Yes.
You can just post and launch it as much as
For
you
me,
like.
Adam Goodes and Latrell Mitchell are the two bravest athletes I've seen for a long time, along with obviously something different, Ian Roberts. When he stood up in the 90s, I hold them for different reasons at a higher level than most athletes because they stand up for what they believe. And for Latrell Mitchell to do what he did a couple of years ago, people were hating him, but I understood where Latrell was coming from. I to this day, I'm a 47-year-old man, and I don't think I'm a weak person, but I know that words can hurt you. And when your family gets hurt like that, it just tears you apart.
Well, you've captured exactly how Eddie Betts, who's just one of the Indigenous players in Australia, who's just an incredible AFL footballer, and this is some of his words when he spoke about the incident as well.
I reckon I just need everyone to really go on a journey to start educating, to start those conversations. Taylor Walker's going on his journey at the moment. I've been on this show last year pouring my heart out, begging, hoping Australia would listen, and we need to start having those conversations in the workplace, in the schooling. The only way we're going to move together as one is we start educating ourselves. And, you guys that are sitting on the couch, you guys are the ones that are going to be the powerful voice here. You guys are the ones that are going to make change. Because I can't keep doing it. You hear me speaking about it year after year after year, and nothing's going to change. So it's up to you guys to make change. Call out racism when you see it, because there's no room for racism in Australia.
We listened to Wendell Saylor, we listened to Eddie Betts, we listened to Latrell Mitchell, and you be that change.
I think it's bullshit that we talk about Indigenous round and celebrating the Polynesian community and all this, and obviously it can be vice versa, and then we still put up with young Naden last year.
Yeah.
He got racially vilified, and the bloke said sorry, and Naden forgave them, which is I think good for the soul. But for those guys to go there, like go to the football and enjoy it and respect what you're seeing. It's not just about the Indigenous athletes. Obviously, just go there and enjoy footy. And there's just too much hatred in the world. We're going through so much at the moment, and to be honest, I'm in a pretty good place, but this just gets me so angry because we're having this conversation time after time. And Eddie Betts, when he was going again, and I heard him last year, and I was shattered for him because you think we're grown men, and I think you brought that up. Was it Courtney Walsh who talked about the West Indies got racial?
It was Michael Holding.
Michael Holding, and Michael Holding, one of the greats. Do yourself a favour. I think Gus, you pointed out to me, and I said to you, Gus, and you, Jude, if you look at that, he's done everything in the game. He's world class. He's an absolute gentleman. Isn't it funny how? No, it's not funny, but he can go back there and remember all those things that happened to him. He's done everything in and around cricket in the game, but he can remember that racism.
They still cut so deep.
He remembers the racism and not all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Jude, for bringing it up, and thanks for your personal story too.
We've got to be better.
Yeah, and we'll do our best on this show as well.